Hey there, welcome to English Beyond Words. I'm Mark, and I'm really excited about today's lesson. We're going to solve one of the biggest mysteries in English grammar, three tiny words that confuse almost every English learner: in, on, and at. These prepositions seem simple, right? Just three letters, but they create so much confusion. Students ask me all the time, Mark, when do I say in the morning versus on Monday versus at 8 o'clock? Why is it in London but at the station? How do I know which one to use? Well, today, all of that confusion ends. I'm going to teach you a visual trick that will make everything crystal clear. And once you see it, you'll never mix them up again. I'm going to use something called the triangle method. It's simple, it's visual, and it works. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly when to use in, when to use on, and when to use at for both time and place. No more guessing, no more mistakes, just confidence. So let's get started. All right, here's how this works. I want you to imagine a triangle in your mind. Picture it right now. A triangle has three levels, right? The bottom is wide and big. The middle is smaller. The top is very narrow and pointed. This triangle is going to be your guide. At the bottom, the widest part, we have in. In is for general, broad things, big spaces, long periods of time. In the middle, we have on. On is more specific than in. It's for particular days or surfaces. At the top, the sharpest point, we have at. At is for exact, precise moments and locations, very specific. Think of it like this. In is like a big container. On is like standing on something. At is like pointing to one exact spot. Got it? Good. Now we're going to apply this triangle to two things, time and place. First, we'll master in, on, and at for time. Then we'll do the same thing for places, and I'll give you lots of examples so you can practice with me. This is a shadowing episode, so I want you to repeat every example sentence I say out loud. Don't just listen, speak. That's how your brain learns. Ready? Let's start with time. Let's begin with in for time. Remember, in is at the bottom of the triangle. It's the widest, most general level. We use in for long periods of time, things like months, years, seasons, and parts of the day. Here's some examples. Listen carefully, then repeat after me. I was born in December. Now you say it. I was born in December. Good. Next one. She moved to Canada in 2018. Repeat. She moved to Canada in 2018. Excellent. They always travel in summer. Your turn. They always travel in summer. Perfect. I feel most energetic in the morning. Say it with me. I feel most energetic in the morning. One more. He started his business in 2020. Repeat. He started his business in 2020. Great job. So notice the pattern. In December. In 2018. In summer. In the morning. These are all broad time periods, not exact, not specific, just general. That's when we use in. Now let's move up the triangle to on. On is in the middle. It's more specific than in. We use on for particular days and dates. Listen and repeat. I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Now you. I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Good. Her wedding is on June 15th. Repeat after me. Her wedding is on June 15th. Nice. We always have family dinner on Sundays. Your turn. We always have family dinner on Sundays. Excellent. I was born on the 5th of May. Say it. I was born on the 5th of May. One more example. They're going on vacation on New Year's Day. Repeat. They're going on vacation on New Year's Day. Perfect. Do you see the difference now? On is for specific days. On Thursday. On June 15th. On Sundays. On New Year's Day. These are more precise than months or years. That's why on is in the middle of our triangle. Now let's go to the top, the sharpest, most precise point, at. We use at for exact times, clock times, specific moments. Listen carefully and repeat. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. Now you. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. Good. I always wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Repeat. I always wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Great. Lunch is served at noon. Your turn. Lunch is served at noon. Excellent. The train arrives at 4:15. Say it with me. The train arrives at 4:15. One more. She goes to bed at midnight. Repeat. She goes to bed at midnight. Perfect. So at is for exact times. At 9 o'clock. At 6:30. At noon. At midnight. Very specific, very precise. That's the top of the triangle. Now you understand the triangle for time. In for general periods, on for specific days, at for exact moments. Let's practice a few more sentences together. I'll say them slowly and you repeat. Ready? I usually study in the evening. Repeat. I usually study in the evening. My exam is on Friday. Your turn. My exam is on Friday. The exam starts at 10 a.m. Say it. The exam starts at 10 a.m. See how we used all three? In the evening, on Friday, at 10 a.m. Each one has its place. Now let's apply the same triangle to places. This is where it gets really interesting. For places, we still use the same triangle concept. In is for large enclosed spaces. On is for surfaces. At is for specific points or locations. Let's start with in. We use in when something is inside a space or a large area. Listen and repeat. I live in Tokyo. Now you. I live in Tokyo. Good. The keys are in my pocket. Repeat. The keys are in my pocket. Great. She's sitting in the car. Your turn. She's sitting in the car. Excellent. There's coffee in the cup. Say it. There's coffee in the cup. One more. He works in an office. Repeat. He works in an office. Perfect. So in is for enclosed spaces or large areas. In Tokyo. In my pocket. In the car. In the cup. Now let's talk about on. We use on when something is on a surface, something touching the top of something else. Listen and repeat. The book is on the desk. Now you. The book is on the desk. Good. There's a picture on the wall. Repeat. There's a picture on the wall. Nice. Your glasses are on the table. Your turn. Your glasses are on the table. Great. She lives on the second floor. Say it. She lives on the second floor. One more. There's dirt on your shirt. Repeat. There's dirt on your shirt. Excellent. So on is for surfaces. On the desk, on the wall, on the table, on the floor. Now the top of the triangle. At for specific locations. We use at when we're talking about a specific point or place. Listen carefully and repeat. I'm waiting at the bus stop. Now you. I'm waiting at the bus stop. Good. She's standing at the door. Repeat. She's standing at the door. Great. We met at the restaurant. Your turn. We met at the restaurant. Excellent. He's studying at the library. Say it. He's studying at the library. One more. They arrived at the airport. Repeat. They arrived at the airport. Perfect. So at is for exact locations. At the bus stop, at the door, at the restaurant, at the library. Very specific points. Now let's practice mixing them together. I'll give you sentences with all three and you repeat. The concert is in the park on Saturday at 7 p.m. Repeat. The concert is in the park on Saturday at 7 p.m. Great. I left my phone in the kitchen on the counter at home. Your turn. I left my phone in the kitchen on the counter at home. Perfect. Now before we finish, let me tell you about some important exceptions. These are special cases you need to memorize. We say at night, not in night. But we say in the morning and in the afternoon. Also, there's a difference between at school and in school. At school means you are physically there. In school means you are a current student. For example, I'm at school right now means I'm at the building. I'm in school means I'm currently a student. Also, for technology and media, we use on the phone, on the internet, on TV, on the radio. These are fixed expressions. Just memorize them. Great work so far. You now understand the triangle. In for general, on for specific, at for exact, for both time and place. All right, my friends, let's wrap this up. Today we covered one of the most confusing topics in English grammar, in, on, and at. But now it's not confusing anymore, is it? Because you have the triangle method. Remember it. Visualize it. At the bottom, wide and general, we have in. In the middle, more specific, we have on. At the top, sharp and exact, we have at. For time, in for months, years, seasons, and parts of the day. On for specific days and dates. At for exact clock times. For place, in for enclosed spaces and large areas. On for surfaces. At for specific locations and points. Once you understand this visual, everything clicks into place. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to memorize hundreds of rules. You just need to remember the triangle. Now I want you to practice. Don't just watch this video and move on. Go back, listen again, repeat the sentences out loud. Shadowing is how your brain learns. Your mouth needs to practice these patterns. Your ears need to hear them repeatedly. That's how fluency is built. Start using these prepositions in your daily life. When you talk to yourself, use them correctly. When you write messages, pay attention. When you speak with others, apply what you learned. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. And remember, making mistakes is part of learning. If you say in Monday instead of on Monday, that's okay. Correct yourself and keep going. Progress, not perfection. That's what matters. If this lesson helped you, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which preposition was most confusing for you before today. In, on, or at. And now that you know the triangle method, does it make sense? I read every comment, and your feedback helps me create better lessons for you. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe to English Beyond Words so you don't miss future lessons. And turn on notifications so you're always the first to know when a new episode drops. Share this video with a friend who's also learning English. Let's help each other grow. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for believing in yourself and your English journey. You're doing amazing. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep improving. I'm Mark from English Beyond Words, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, remember the triangle. In, on, at. You've got this. Keep going. Bye for now.